Yo, what's up? This your boy Derek Branch here, Strike7Sports.com. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Brian Biden and Leo Seaberry. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. So, we're going to open it up with the news that came down last night concerning Lane Kiffin and the rumors of him going to um, the Auburn Tigers to become their head coach. Right now, he is the head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels of the SEC West. If he does become a head coach, he'll be still in the SEC West, but he'll be the Auburn Tigers head coach. So last night, a reporter by the name of John Sokoloff according to his Twitter, his profile, blue check guy, reporter, out of Starksville, Mississippi, WCBI News reported that Lane Kiffin will be expected to step down to leave um Auburn, not Auburn, but the Rebels. He planned to step down as the Rebels and become the head coach of the Auburn Tigers, according to his sources. He said the sources say that the Tigers haven't officially offered the job to anyone yet, but he just came out and said he said that Lane was stepping down and taking the job. So Lane Kiffin responded as usual, pretty much saying that it's fake news. And I got a clip from ESPN.com uh, of him talking about the rumor. So just give me a second while the clip load up. So give me a second. All right. Those are the words of Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin. So I'm gonna go back to John Sokoloff's tweet. He put out some additional information today saying that 2 hours ago stating that Ole Miss athletic director says the department sources have also denied the report. And we'll just go and some 2 hours ago another statement he put out from Sokoloff. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that one as well. All right. So there you have it. They have denied the rumors. They said they're not true. According to Lane Kiffin, according to the athletic department. But let's let's say if it was true, if everything comes out, if the rumors are true, and it comes out, a few days later that he's going to Auburn, do you think this is the right move for to make for Lane Kiffin?
Um, I kind of explained this before. Yeah, I think it is in terms of long term stability. Um, Ole Miss just can't offer the money and resources you'll have at Auburn. I just don't think Lane Kiffin has handled this in terms of maybe them being a professional. If you're staying, just say you're gonna be back next year. Maybe the only reason why you do is if you're gonna stay at Ole Miss to get more money. That's the only thing that can explain it. But it won't be a good look if he ends up leaving after all this. And the same reporter that reported the AD Cohen going from Mississippi State to Auburn, he was earlier on it than other people were. So that's why I think there's a chance this could be true. But we'll see how this unfolds after the Egg Bowl and then that Friday morning. Um, after, the next day after that, but we'll see what happens.
But go ahead.
Um, well, we know Lane Kiffin and going from place to place has never been an issue. So, we know we had his history. Let's go back to USC. Let's go from USC to Tennessee. He said he wasn't leaving Tennessee. He ended up going to USC. So, he said Lane Kiffin is a professional liar. We know this.
Hmm.
We know this. He's not a professional liar, but let's just say he knows he's slick. He's very slick. So to answer your question, I honestly don't think it'd be a better move for him to go to Auburn. Auburn at this point is not what Ole Miss is. Yeah, they can offer the resources, but Auburn is a rebuild at this point. You're rebuilding. You're gonna have to start over with everything. They the foundation. I don't even know any Auburn play. And it may just be me, but I don't even know any Auburn players at this point. Like, do
Benjamin?
they even have any foundational pieces that you could say, okay, he's here, we'll be okay next year? We don't even have them type of players. Like he has that in abundance at Ole Miss. A lot of foundation players. Their defense needs a retool, but I feel like Ole Miss, why they like you said, Brian, they may not offer the resources, they offer the winning. He won't get fired unless Ole Miss just gets really really bad. He won't get fired at Ole Miss. He won't. But and he's home. They love him there. I feel like at Auburn he had to prove himself again, rebuild team up. Because if he goes to Auburn, and within 2 years they need to be in the SEC championship game. They're not
Yeah,
gonna expect. They don't expect that at Ole Miss. He won't. They don't expect Ole Miss knows this year that okay. Well, they lost to Bama, but they not expecting them to be in the SEC championship game at Ole Miss. 9 wins is a good season. 8 wins is good. 8 to 9 wins every year at Ole Miss will keep him his job for the next 7 years.
yeah.
At
New Year's
Auburn,
Super Bowl.
that's not acceptable at Auburn. Gus Malzahn got fired at Auburn. This guy led them to a national championship and had them consistently at the top. I mean, I know he had a few down years, which ultimately
Yeah.
led to his dismissal, but Gus Malzahn had Auburn at a high level, and we saw what happened with him eventually. So you're gonna have to bring it at Auburn. Whereas at Ole Miss, getting 8 9 wins a year, that the natives will be okay with that.
Okay. I agree. Here's my thing though. If you do take the job at Auburn, there ain't gonna be. It shouldn't be no more excuses on why you can't like compete at the next level because that kind of been like his downfall. I would say. I won't say it's downfall, but it's like what's missing with him as far as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't have like he go to places that don't have the lack of resources. He went to USC, but I don't think he was just kind of immature at the time. Tennessee, he didn't stay that long enough because it was like 1 year, right? He stayed after 1 year. He left. He bounced
Yeah,
to
with the
USC.
USC.
So he don't stay nowhere long enough to like actually build something. And it's like they have all this hype around him. His resume is not even that great, man. He hasn't been to a conference championship game. He hasn't, you know, I mean, he was a good OC at Alabama, but he hasn't really done anything, you know. And I've been hearing people say that the Auburn job is going to be like a pressure, like a real highly pressure job to win right away. Um, but what SEC? I mean, outside of like Vanderbilt, like pretty much all the SEC schools got some kind of type of like outrageous expectations, So I mean, can he get it turned around? I don't know, man. I don't know if he can do that at Auburn because he couldn't do it. He didn't do it at USC, you know. And uh, what about the offensive side of not the offense, but what about the defense, man? Like, can he like address that side of the ball as well? Because all his teams are just like really good on offense. We have high powered offenses. That's about it. This at Auburn, you should have the resources to like build a defense, rebuild it if you have to, have the quarterback, all that stuff to win. So, I mean, to me, Lane Kiffin ain't bad. It's not a bad hire, but to me, I mean, I think there are better options out there. To me, if they want a
Like
home run,
To
if they
correct
want
you
a
on one
home
thing,
run hire, they could have did better than Lane Kiffin. I'm glad
like
LSU didn't go after
like
Lane
who?
Kiffin. Quite a few people, man.
to correct you, Lane Kiffin does have on one little thing. Lane Kiffin does have a conference championship, by the way, at Florida Atlantic. But we
Oh,
gonna
come on,
we'll
man.
we'll count we championships are championships. But go ahead, DP.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for letting me know, man. But I don't. I mean, he just kind of overhyped, man. He just like for what? I don't get it with Lane Kiffin, man. He kind of cocky, say things, and like Saban has owned him, man. Like he almost got it. He almost got to Alabama this year, but he still lost. You know. So I
Yeah.
think he could have did better hire. Man, he could have got a. I mean, if they wanted, they could have got a good OC, somebody, a good assistant out there, the hot assistant out there to take the job. But
Would you hire Prime or him, Coach Prime or him? If those are your only two choices, you will always AD, and those are only two choices. Those are the final two candidates: Deion Sanders or Lane Kiffin.
I go Prime, man, because I know Prime get it done.
I'll
I
go
don't
with
know
Lane
about
because I've
it.
seen him at a P5 school.
Yeah.
Oh
And
man,
not
but
just that, I just think that at a place like because Harson failed, I think you need a coach with SEC experience and success. Doesn't mean he's gonna be what you ultimately want him to be, but I think it just if this had been after Malzahn, then maybe you could have taken that risk. But you can't have back to back failures as a coach. And I'm not saying Deion will be that, but there's a chance he could be. I think the safer hire is Lane Kiffin. But a guy who I felt like should get more love as a head coach is Jeff Grimes, the OC for Baylor. He was at BYU when Zach Wilson had his really good year. I know that's probably bringing that up right
Baylor,
now,
bro,
but no,
he
but
could have.
he's a really good. He was actually at Auburn before as an assistant. He's a really good coach. A lot of people praise him as a really good coach, so I think he could do a good job. And there maybe they could have got some better coaches. Hugh Freeze would have been interested at Auburn, but I'm fine with this if this is ends up being their hire. Uh, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's going to give Nick Saban some problems. But what would be so funny, I don't know if it'll happen, but if Lane went from Auburn to Alabama, he would probably be the most hated coach in college football history if he's not already up there.
Okay, but I add this question to it. So will Auburn be Lane's final stop? Because it's a P5 school. It's a college football's one of college football's top programs.
I'm surprised Lane Kiffin isn't receiving more NFL like speculation simply because when he failed in the NFL, it was 15 years ago. If I was an owner, I give him a phone call because I think he'd be.
I
I
would.
think I I just think he would have to. The key with him is with getting very is him getting very good defensive coordinators. At the NFL, I feel like he could get better defensive coaches than he could at a collegiate level. He could go get a solid defensive coordinator and just let them handle the defense. And if you just give him the offense and he just be he run that, I don't see why he couldn't be a pro coach. And I honestly don't think the Raiders gave him a long enough time. So I honestly, I speculate that if Auburn's not his last job, he could be an NFL coach.
That's what I think too. I think once he turns around, like if he stays at Auburn like 4 years, 4 to 5 years, and they like win, let's say they win a national title, like two national titles. This is just out of air, out national titles and go to SEC championship games. His name will start popping up for SEC for NFL jobs because he's still young, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So his name will start popping up for NFL jobs. But I want to ask y'all this: so if he takes the Auburn job, where does Ole Miss point to for new head
Mm-hmm.
coach? I got a
That's
name.
that's a very good question. There's a lot of names. Jeff Levy, the Oklahoma
He
OC.
would know.
Um,
Keep him there.
he was there when they had with Matt Corral last year. I could see that happening. Deion Sanders, I think there's a slight chance that happens because
Mm-mm.
Nah,
I know y'all
Mm-mm.
may not want him together, but I could see him at least getting a look for the job. Uh,
it's Kendall Browse.
yeah, I could see that happening. Probably
That's
the
gonna be
hot OC coordinator or Dan Mullen would be interesting.
oh my
The
God. The
Mississippi State,
ultimate
man. He
op going
been
from Mississippi State to
there. Yeah,
Florida
so
to
he'll
the
melt
ultimate
down, man.
op.
Hugh
The
Freeze
ultimate
would
Nah,
be interesting, but I don't see him coming back. I mean,
man, he ain't coming back. My bridges burned, dude.
bridge is so burned.
that would be an interesting head coaching search.
Tom Mockin, Georgia, the Georgia OC.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. But his name could probably be brought up, but I don't see that happening. But it would be interesting to see who would take that job. But it would
Hey,
a lot of people would be interested.
hey, do
But
y'all think
go ahead.
What
do
about
y'all think Pep
James?
Hamilton would take a college job, man?
You
No.
know, no, you know what I
Pep
was thinking the
Hamilton?
other day. Maybe if he got Hopper, maybe out of HBCU or something. And I hope if he got a good opportunity, he would take it. But you know what I was thinking? I was like, why didn't the Texans hire Pep Hamilton as their head coach? And this isn't a knock against Lovie Smith, but Lovey's been a head coach 2 times already. I would have loved Pep to get the opportunity. Uh, but it is what it is.
Because if you lose, wait, hold on. Because Lovey been a coach 2 times, he doesn't deserve another shot. Another
That's not
shot.
what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
That's your saying.
No, no, I'm just saying, like, Pep has never been one. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't have hired Lovey, but I would have rather given it to Pep because I think one he's what you're looking for in today's coach in a way, offensive mind. Uh, they need a quarterback. Even though I wouldn't like to see it as a Titans fan, Bryce Young there would be a good fit, but that's just the way I look at it. But back to the college football. Um, Ole Miss would be an interesting job, but someone made a good point that in the new SEC, how good of a job is that going to be? That's another reason why Lane Kiffin moving to Auburn would make a lot of sense because when you bring in Oklahoma and Texas, Ole Miss is going to go down the pecking order. And maybe outside of Vanderbilt and maybe Mississippi State, that's going to be one of the worst jobs in the SEC. And
How do you know that? How do you know
it,
that?
it is. Like, I mean, just
How
in
though?
terms of resources, compare Ole Miss to some of these other SEC schools. It's not even a competition. And so, like some people like what Lane Kiffin has done is kind of like what Dan Mullen did at Mississippi State. What they did is like very few coaches can do that. And so, if people are expecting that's going to be the expectation for them to be that good, then people are crazy. Every once in a while they can have that, but 6-6, 7-5, that's more likely.
Yeah, you got more resources than Memphis.
Come
Ole
on
Miss,
now.
Yeah.
yeah, of course. They got just being in the SEC alone. Vanderbilt has more resources than Memphis.
Man, look. I told y'all, man, look. The Ole Miss job, the Mississippi State job, they're step up jobs. They're step up jobs, just like Memphis. They just got better resources. That's just it.
Well,
But go ahead.
I was gonna say it depends on what type who you are. Like you were joking saying Ryan Silverfield, that could be the best job he ever gets. But someone like Lane Kiffin, yeah, it's a step up job. So I think it also depends on who the candidate is.
Hey, why hey, why people so like dead set on Ryan Silver staying here? You never know what jobs can come up, bro. You never
I
know
don't think.
opportunities you can
Well,
get.
who's gonna hire him if he's struggling
Dude,
at Memphis?
bro, look, all he gotta do 1 year, 1 year could turn around.
So
1 year.
sure.
That would happen to Norvell.
For
yeah,
I wasn't
sure.
but
hearing about Norvell getting no jobs.
no, but
Before
Norvell, like Paul Feinbaum made this point. A lot of people wanted Mike Norvell, so it wasn't just FSU. He was really
Ain't
sought
what I'm
after,
saying.
and you know why he was sought after. He's a good coach, but he's like he's kind of like a Sean McVay in terms of what they're looking for in college football. This young, bright offensive mind. Silverfield
Not
isn't
just
that. He's more of a CEO type of coach.
no, he
Um,
ain't, man. He not. Let's stop that, man. Dude,
all
stop saying that.
right, let's
He
define
not
what
CEO,
do you think I mean when I say CEO type of coach?
bro. Dude, you know Brian Kelly's CEO, man. Nick
But
Silver is
you
not
you
CEO, man.
define what a CEO type of coach is, and then I'll give you
Man,
my definition.
you already see what it is, man.
No, but I want you to define it for me.
A coach that knows every aspect of his program. That's not just known for one thing. I'm trying to figure out. I'm still trying to figure out what is Silverfield trying to build at Memphis. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Well,
We had Norvell. It was a high-powered offense, and he had a swagger to put himself.
I think he's trying to just build a program. When I say CEO coach, you're yeah, I agree with some of what you're saying. Just a guy who delegates responsibilities to his coordinators and is basically in a way an overseer of the program. And so to me, if you're not like I mean, it's you make case almost most coaches are CEO coaches in a way because most coaches don't call plays. Most coaches aren't. I mean, only aren't focused on just their side of the ball. They're over everything. At least the good coaches. Nick Saban is a CEO coach in my opinion. Um, and I think and Deion Sanders, a lot of people believe what can make him a really good coach and give him a great opportunity to get one of these bigger jobs because he's a really good CEO coach. And that some people think that's a shot at him. It's a look. All that matters is winning. If you win, who cares what type of coach people call you? But I think that's honestly the way to win in college football. Having a guy who can have the be able to hire the right staff and maybe sometimes be hands on, but know when not to be hands on, and then trust them to make the decisions to help their program be successful. And but when are we going? Anyway, I'll wait till we talk about Deion. But there is a report out or a tweet out that y'all probably saw, and I want to know y'all's thoughts on it.
Go ahead. What?
All right, yeah. Brett McMurphy, he put out a tweet about. Let me see if I can pull it up
Man,
because
all right, let's move to the next topic, man. Let's talk about that next, man. Let's talk about that next, man. Was all right, man. So this next story we got is about this reports that came out that Deion from it was 247 Sports stating that Deion Sanders has been meeting with Colorado and South Florida for becoming their potential head coach. Report came out yesterday from 247 Sports, and they're saying that Deion's had serious talks with um, both of these schools. Colorado is a Power Five job, and USF is a Group of Five school, but have had success in the past under previous head coaches. Colorado, like a long time ago, back in my day, they were contending for national championships. They've had some great players come out of there. Big 12, they were a part of Big 12, now they're the Pac 12 now. But they haven't been relevant in a long time when it comes to compete for the national championship. So just want to ask y'all if Deion had to go to USF or Colorado. Where will those programs be in like 2 years?
Um,
Okay.
USF.
Leah, go first, man.
Leah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Um, USF. Keep in mind, I keep in mind like in 2 years they'll have the new AAC. So I feel like if Deion USF they have a few foundational players. The team's really just off all around from what I've seen, and even like projecting them into the future, like you just said, will be in the new look AAC. You won't have any more Houston, no more UCF, no more um, Cincinnati. So and it'll be some more teams in there, but they won't be like those heavyweights were. So it'll really give if he goes there. I tweeted this out. If he goes there, I think he can have USF in the AAC championship within 2 years minimum. That he's in Florida from he's not from Florida, but look at the bases you have Florida and Deion Sanders guys. He's gonna get people off his name alone. Don't be
Yeah,
surprised if they get a couple. They may sneak a 5 star or two in there. He got one to go to Jackson State. He got
yeah,
one to go to Jackson State, which I we never would have thought HBC like Jackson State would have gotten a 5 star player. So if he can get HBC as a 5 star to go to HBCU in deep down in Mississippi, I know he can get some 5 stars to come to Tampa, Florida, and play. So I think it's a right recruiting ground, and I think if he went there, he could push that team forward, and I think they'd be successful actually pretty quickly. Colorado on the hand is kind of a tricky job. In 2 years, I was watching Colorado USC. They have some foundational pieces on their defense but it just they need to that's a whole retool rebuild, and I wouldn't take that job personally if I were him, simply because of the fact of the matter is you're in a Pac-12, you're not going anywhere upward. Like you're not getting Colorado back to where they were in the 1990s, like
but
winning the
USC
national,
going though.
huh?
But USC gonna be leaving though.
USC ain't. I didn't thought about that.
UCLA,
Yep, they are leaving, but shoot, Oregon ain't going nowhere.
Utah,
Who
ain't.
else? Huh?
Utah.
Utah not going nowhere. Yep, but it's gonna be interesting to see who they replace the Pac-12 replaces with those two teams leave because somebody got to come over there. But anywho, um, I just feel that Colorado and like Brian said, resources. I don't think Colorado. I believe this might sound crazy, but I feel like they'll probably get more to work with at USF than they would at Colorado. I'm sorry, but I just
Did
feel
you say
like they
it again?
would.
Say it
Yeah,
again.
I feel like they would get him more to work with at USF
Yeah,
than they would at Colorado. First of all, the
okay.
recruiting ground is way more fertile. Like we said, you can find
Yeah.
play. He won't even have to lead a state to get top talent.
Then he could like recruit. He could like touch Louisiana.
Yeah,
Probably get into Texas, Georgia.
for sure, for sure. And
So go
it's
ahead.
been a while since US, and I honestly think that, like I said, if you want to go turn around the program faster, I think he could do that at USF and the AAC than doing it where because people expected Memphis to dominate the new look AAC. So if his best competition is Memphis and the new look AAC, Tim, come on now. He could go get a team and within literally it might take two recruiting classes, but he could go get a team that's probably better than Memphis in two recruiting classes. If we being real honest at USF.
Yeah. Okay. Man, look, I don't know if I told y'all this the other day, but if he comes to USF, man, that's bad for Memphis, man. From a competitive standpoint, that is not good for Memphis, man. Because like if he came to the swag and did what he did, imagine what he could do at the USF. And I wouldn't even be surprised if the Big 12 try to plug USF, man. Or USF go to the ACC or something like that. I won't be surprised, bro. Because Deion got that type of platform, bro. That he can do that. He can influence things like that. But that wouldn't be good for Memphis, man. If he does that Colorado job, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take that job. Just the USF job. I mean, I read Booger's tweet a while back. He put out that tweet about how USF the area is a sleeping giant. It could you could bring in a lot of recruits and all that, and have funding and all that stuff. He's right, but I wouldn't take that job. But me personally, man, I think he should stay at Jackson State. Continue to be part of the change in HBCU football. But I would understand if he leaving though. If he leaves Jackson State to go to USF or Colorado. What you got that? What you thinking, Brian?
Yeah, I agree. If it's between those two jobs, I would have already taken the USF job. I think this is my first 2 years. Everything goes well. He could get to a ball game in year one and potentially get to the conference championship in year two. I'm looking at the new AAC. Memphis will be all right, depending on their coaching situation and their quarterback. SMU will always be tough to beat. Tulane seems like they'll be relevant. And of the new teams coming in, UAB looks like it's going to be a solid program. Florida Atlantic could be interesting. But yeah, Deion could definitely turn this around quickly. And I think he could get paid enough where it's okay for him. And I know he's not doing it for the money. He's well off, but USF could pay him, I think, a good amount of money for him to stay there for maybe the rest of his career. But yeah, I would love that hire. And also, I was listening to Jake Crane. Y'all probably know who he is. Uh, he said that Alabama's playing USF next year. USF's going to lose to Alabama next year, but I just found out a potential interesting dynamic if they end up playing. And Deion is the head coach of USF.
Yeah.
So, DB,
So
I got a question for you.
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, shout out to Deion for undefeated season, another undefeated season at Jackson State. It's not
Yeah.
easy to do that. It's not easy. But second of all, DB, I have a question for you. Can y'all? Well, you can do this too, Brian. But like, rank the likely scenarios. Him being at Jackson State, being a coach at Colorado, and then coaching USF next year. What you think? Or coaching somebody else that I didn't mention. Like, you can rank those four in order.
Language
Uh,
scenario.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, Deep.
I think language scenario was him staying at Jackson State, man. That's what I think.
Why do you think it is? He doesn't get offered the jobs, or he just ends up
He
staying?
just decided just decide that it's not the right time to do it, man. Even though he,
Uh,
interviewed for the job or whatever you talk to him, I don't think he goes right now. But it could always happen though.
yeah, I probably would lean towards he takes the USF job if offered. But then the second likely scenario is that he comes back to Jackson State. And
Yeah.
the other ones really don't matter, in my opinion.
And
Hey,
Colorado, yeah.
go ahead.
Colorado, yeah, that's very unlikely.
Yeah, but I won't put it. I won't be surprised if he goes there just to like prove a point. You know what I'm saying? That he can you know he can contend outside of I would say the hotbed, the recruit hotbed.
Hmm.
But that Colorado job hasn't been attractive in a long time, man. And never really won anything since like the 2000s, man. Like 95. Like I was young, man. When I was like 12, 13, bro, Colorado was a really good program back in the day. For real. Like
They
their
won a
rival was
national
Nebraska.
championship. Yeah, they
Their
won a
rival
national
was Nebraska.
championship. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart. Throw a Hail Mary against Michigan. I
That's a long
remember
time.
that was a long time ago, dude. Now that one, Michigan was really good, bro. Michigan was really good back then. But anyways, man, we'll see. But hey, I gotta get this out of my chest, man. Y'all may think I'm tripping when I say this. Let me know if I'm tripping. So, hope I don't get in trouble if I say this. So, Memphis AD, Lard Veach, that's his name, right? Lard Veach.
Laird Veach.
Larry, I miss Dr. Rudd, man. Dr. Rudd was cool. But anyways, Laird Veach came on 92.9 FM on the Jason and John show. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, man. They don't ban me. I don't get blackballed, but we'll see. And said that I'm paraphrasing here, but he needs the boosters. I think I'm saying that right. The boosters to donate more money to the NIL, or if not, athletes are going to transfer. Now, my interpretation of that is this is him coming out and caping for Ryan Silverfield, saying that's kind of him saying he's not going anywhere. That's just my interpretation of that. Am I tripping?
Um, I don't have a problem with it. I think this is just his way of saying we need more money if people want us to be where we want to be. So I don't have too much of a problem with it. Uh, yeah, that's the way I look at it.
But how is basketball getting all these players, man?
Well, Memphis is a basketball school, and also,
No,
I mean,
dude. No,
yeah,
dude. No.
yeah. Don't compare
No, dude.
Memphis. Don't compare Memphis
You
basketball
got
to
to.
football.
You got to.
You can't.
No, bro. If Penny's out here getting the freaking what he is like a TikTok star, the got a basketball player that got 4 million I think followers on TikTok. Silverville can't do the opposite. Can't do the same. And college can get quality players.
Ain't nobody trying to play for Memphis football.
And
Yeah,
also,
they play
but
for Morville.
let me ask you this: let's say Deion Sanders became the head coach of Memphis. Do you think he could get players?
No,
Of course. If you get
So,
a Jackson,
yeah,
no.
3 hours away.
yeah.
There's still going to be a ceiling of who he gets.
Yeah, but the bigger point is that some of it also depends on who's on the staff and who's there. And so I just don't think you can compare Memphis basketball to Memphis football. Now, if all the resources were equal and we had more money like they say that we need, and then he was missing out on guys, that would be different. But I think he's doing the
Hey,
best he can. But it'll be interesting to see
but
what happens if they lose this game, especially if they lose badly. What
nothing
Memphis
happening.
do. I think he's coming back, but I wouldn't be surprised if they fire him.
But I'm not the only person that feel like this though. Jason Smith say the same thing along with what I said, along the lines of what I said.
Yeah.
Penny going out here grabbing these players and all that. Why he can't, why does he gotta get a pass?
I have a question. Larry Veach publicly even supported Silverfield like coming back next year?
Bro, we don't
From
even
what
like Larry
from
Reese
y'all
don't even
college?
like talk.
We don't know if Laird Veach is coming back.
Nah, he ain't going nowhere.
You don't know that he's a candidate for the Mississippi State job.
Man, why
Nah,
would Mississippi? Let me stop.
I'm just saying he's a candidate. I'm not saying he's gonna get it, but he's a candidate. And so I ultimately think he's back next year, but we don't know if he's coming back. And so if that ends up happening, if Laird Veach ends up leaving, then I think that's the beginning of the end for Ryan Silverfield. But I'll let y'all finish up on this. But there's something that was tweeted out by Brett McMurphy. Y'all may have seen it that I wanted to talk about.
Talking about with the school issue with Deion school and all that.
Yeah, I was wondering, do y'all think?
Oh,
I want to know. I feel like either an agent or a coach that may be trying to compete with Deion for a job told Brett that to hurt Deion. Do you think that? Well, I think it could hurt a little bit, but I don't think if a school wants to hire him, they'll hire him. But it's something interesting. I think I can't remember who I saw. I think it may have been Gabe Kuhn, but he said he was wondering how much someone paid Brett McMurphy to tweet that out. That was wild. But
yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see how this coaching carousel goes. But I hope this isn't a serious issue. But I don't think this will hurt him at getting a job like USF, but I think it could hurt him getting a Power 5 job.
I think if a school wants to hire him, they're gonna hire him. I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
Yeah, I hope not.
All right, moving right along, man. All right, so as far as the NFL slate, the biggest story right now, I would say, and we're talking about it tonight, is the Zach Wilson debacle down in New York with the Jets. They lost a really close game, a winnable game on Sunday to the New England Patriots. New England swept them for the season. They lost by a score of 10-3 after one of the Patriots player, can't think of his name, but returned a kickoff. I think it was a punt back for a touchdown, which pretty much won the game for New England. Zach Wilson was did not have a good game, and his tone at the post game presser, paraphrasing here, but he's saying that he's not accountable for the loss. He doesn't feel accountable for the loss that occurred on against the Jets, and a lot of people that didn't set right with a lot of people, in the media, a lot of players, hearing that players on the team wasn't happy with that. Just talks about him being benched, and Kosella stated that he hasn't named a starter yet for this week. So, um, excuse me, the backup is Joe Flacco and Mike Smith, if I'm not mistaken. But if you look at the playoff standings, the Jets are one game out. They're in the eighth spot of the playoff race. That's right behind the seventh spot, which we all know 7 teams could get allowed to get in the playoffs, not 8. But you 6-4 right now, and do you think that a bench right now is going to change anything for the Jets offense? Even they're in the middle of a playoff race right now. What do y'all think?
I was thinking about this topic a lot all day, and what I've decided is whatever they decide. I mean, I'm fine with it, but I think I would give Zach Wilson this game because they should be able to beat the Jets. I'm not the Jets. Excuse me. They should be able to beat the Bears, but give him a short leash. Like if he's really bad after the first quarter, I'd consider making a change. But I'll give him till halftime. If it's not working, I make the switch. I put either Joe Flacco or Mike White. I probably lean towards Joe Flacco um, because he was having success early in the season. But I think this is the beginning of the end for Zach Wilson. Uh, I think he can end up having a good career. I'm just not sure if it's going to be with the Jets. I think if Jimmy Garoppolo leads San Francisco, that's probably the top destination where he could be playing next year. But the best way to handle the Zach Wilson situation is give him one more shot this year and see what he does against the Bears. And if it gets really bad, move on. And not only bench him, I would make him the third string quarterback. I was looking at Mike Tannenbaum on Keyshawn, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman's radio show, and he said that's what he would do, and I thought it was a good point. I would give him this one final shot. If it doesn't work out, make him the third string quarterback and take it from there. And look, while it may suck in terms of his playing time, I think it could help him long term. But how he handled that press conference, like some places, if you're in a smaller market, you can like no offense, but a place like Memphis, they may get on to you, but it's not that big of a deal. New York, New York, are you crazy, Zach Wilson? What are you doing? It just blew my mind his lack of self awareness, and he has an arrogant attitude that if he's not careful, not only will he be benched, he could be out of the league. So he needs to change his approach quickly. Give him one more shot against the Bears, uh, but if give him a short leash.
What you got,
I
Leo?
was I was listening to Dominique Foster. I think that was Foster that was on Get Up too, and
Yeah.
Foster was saying like, he, you notice it just his second year counterpart just before I get into Wilson, Justin Fields. Hey y'all, I think y'all seen. Did y'all see it where they lost to the Falcons? He went to every
Yeah.
defensive player and apologized because they kept him in the game. And he just said that we couldn't get the job done. Like I didn't get the job done on offense. That's what he said. He took responsibility. And like he said, they won over a lot of the defensive players because they were dejected about the loss. But when he came to them, like, and said, "Man, that's on me," they felt like, okay, this guy taking accountability. We can ball for him type stuff. Well, honestly, on the opposite, Zach Wilson kind of has an ego. Does he give y'all Josh Rosen vibes?
Yeah.
With the ego,
I was
and
thinking, I was thinking that too.
does he give y'all like Josh Rosen vibes? Which I don't think. To be fair, Josh Rosen didn't get a fair chance, but you he's his ego is gonna get him out of the. Well, honestly, DB, I'm stretching here. Is he giving you Ryan Leaf vibes
Not yet.
with the ego? Like it's one thing to play bad; it's another when you don't take accountability for it. The players they'll put up with. Okay, you have bad days. They'll
Yeah.
it's the NFL. It's not easy for anybody, but it's the poor play and lack of accountability for your poor play, and that's what's gonna get Zach Wilson out the league more than anything. Like
Yeah.
he and the fact that it's very telling that Robert Saleh didn't commit to him to start against the Bears. It's very telling. But what Dominique Foxworth was saying is that what Zach Wilson should do is like they're gonna probably have a call a meeting there and see where this guy's headed, and then have this guy talk to the team and clear up the issue that he said because that was like Brian said that was a debacle, man. You don't well you had like this team it'd be one thing the defense gave up 30 some points. The defense gave up 3 points because the
Yeah. The
special teams
defense
gave
held
up
it down.
7. The special teams gave up 7 points. When you manage negative 20, that if you count sacks in the second half, he had negative 21 passing yards. That is incredible. That's incredibly bad. You have to take responsibility, and a lot of it is, like you said, entitlement. You're the number 2 pick. What can people say to you? Because the Jets ain't finna just cut him. They're not. And I think actually Zach Wilson, this can also this while we looking at it in a negative standpoint, this could be the turning point of his career positively too. That he looks at it and says, like, I'm playing for my football life. And then he goes on some sort of solid run and we just look at this and we look back at this a year from now saying that really turned him into a solid quarterback. He learned from this experience, or we'll be looking at him trying to latch on to another team. But hopefully it's the former because I actually like Zach Wilson and think he actually can be a really solid quarterback in the NFL. Because I'm not the type of guy that gives up on quarterbacks. These at a quickly I don't because especially when you invest the type of money this guy's making 30+ million guaranteed. Like I'm talking about in terms of like his cumulative contract. So I don't like to we usually people don't like NFL owners don't like to just cut their
Yeah.
losses because even it took even as a Raiders fan I know it even took us 3 years to get rid of Jamarcus Russell because we tried to sap every little ounce of talent we could out of him before we said okay this ain't gonna work. So I think they'll do that with the Jets. They'll do that. But DB, I want to know your opinion on this and whether you think that Flacco should be the starter or whether they should say, you know what, let's give Zach his last shot.
I'll say this. He played against the Bears, right? At home, the game at home.
Yeah,
So, all right. So if he cannot move the ball on that defense in the first quarter, I'm benching him, and I'm going to Joe Flacco for the rest of the season. I'm going to Joe Flacco. Yeah, like you got a defense, you got a good defense. Running game's really good. You got some good wide receivers and a good tight end. Flacco should be able to work with that, and I go from there. And I will bench Zach Wilson, man, for that. If he keeps that up, I will bench. Now, off season, I'm moving on. I tell ownership, hey, look, we gotta change courses, and I'll go after Jimmy Garoppolo. So I wouldn't. If he plays better in that first quarter, in the first quarter against the Bears, okay, give me that. But if not, I'm benching him, man.
a quarter
'Cause
is
you
too
can't keep
early
doing,
though. A quarter is too early.
huh?
That's the only thing I have a problem. I can see if you had said the first half, but a quarter, anything can happen in a quarter. What? Why not a half? Why a quarter instead of a half?
Because
Because
man, I mean, that
this
score should be
game you
enough.
gotta.
That should be enough.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead. That
I
should
was
be
gonna say
enough.
this is a game you gotta win, and so if you see it's not going well, and he's the reason why, you got to get him out of there. And another thing I would have done, man. Thank God I'm not in that locker room. We would have had a long conversation. The immediately out of he came out of that press conference, and I heard about that, we would have had a long conversation. Especially if I'm a defensive guy. Offense, I understand, but a defensive guy, I'm working my ass off, and I don't feel like you have a nonchalant attitude and seems like you don't care. It would I would lose my mind.
Okay. All right. I mean, I don't know, man. He just that's why. Isn't like another BYU quarterback coming out about to come out for the draft this year,
Yeah.
next year? I'm staying away from BYU.
Hall, you talking about Jared Hall?
Yeah, I don't know about going near another BYU QB.
You should know.
I would. But anyways, man, I want to ask y'all this, man. Close it out on this, man. I want to close it out on this. I want to ask y'all this. Do y'all think Mike Vrabel was a top 5 coach right now?
No,
Yes, sir.
No.
no. I can name
Why
five
not?
coaches. I can name
No.
5 coaches
Name
easily
him.
better
Name
than
him.
him.
Name him.
Let's go number 1. You know what?
All right.
And we're gonna go off recency. I'm gonna use DB Power Rankings as a source here. I think Nick Sirianni is a better coach than Mike Vrabel. I think Kyle Shanahan is a better coach right now than Mike Vrabel. Andy Reid is a better coach than Mike Vrabel. Honest, even though they're not having a better season, well, I'm gonna use DB recency, but you know what?
Don't say Mike McCartney, please.
I it was on the fingertip. It was on the tip of my tongue to say Mike McCarthy, but then he's not a better coach. Let's see. I think John Harbaugh's a better coach than Mike Vrabel.
Andy Reid too.
Yeah, I said Andy Reid. Yeah, Andy Reid. So
Oh, yeah.
they'll be my guys ahead of him. But also, I would
Sirianni, bro?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was.
He ain't won nothing, man.
You had me until you said Sirianni.
He's only
What?
been in the league 2 years.
He made the playoffs his first year. He made the playoffs last year. The Eagles team was not a playoff team, and he turned it. That team made the playoffs. I don't even know how. And this year, well, we can't even question what they're doing now. But and even though they're having a down season, Matt LaFleur is still a better coach than Mike Vrabel, and we all know that.
Nah.
Come, this man was 39-9, and he went 13-3 3 seasons in a row. I can't even.
It's because of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my god.
It's because of Aaron Rodgers.
So we can say
Shit.
Mike Vrabel was a good coach because of Derrick Henry. Okay, that's fair then. I'll make that same argument. Derrick Henry.
Look at the resources the Titans have, though, man.
Yeah.
On
What
offense,
you mean?
they're limited, and he winning games with like a limited offense. Like you know what you're going to get when you play them, and they're not changing.
That's maybe
true.
the one knock I'll say against Vrabel is that I just don't know if this offense can get you where you want to be. And some people may say the 49, but the 49ers can do so many things and have so many weapons. And so that's my only thing. Like, I just don't know what this stuff he has is. It has a ceiling, but I don't think that ceiling is a Super Bowl. And so that's my only really knock against him. But yeah, he's definitely one of the best coaches in the NFL. And maybe if he had a quarterback, one of these
He has a
elite
quarterback.
like
He has a quarterback.
put elite Aaron Rodgers the past few years on this team instead of Ryan. Do you think they win a Super Bowl? I think they potentially did. Obviously not this one, but I'm talking about the years Matt LaFleur went 13-3.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. So sometimes it just boils down to if you don't have that quarterback, you can't take that next step. And Tannehill's solid. He's actually been one of the best regular season quarterbacks the past few years, but he's just not that guy who can lead you in the postseason. But Vrabel's done a solid job.
I want to counter a point you just made. So you say that if you don't have that guy, there's a certain living, like at the quarterback position in the NFL, there's a certain ceiling that a team can reach, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make this comparison. Who's in your mind, Brian? Who is a better quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo or Ryan Tannehill?
That's I'd probably lean towards Ryan Tannehill, but that being said, I don't think that. I mean, it's not that big of a difference. It's not like Ryan Tannehill may be better, but he's not like a difference maker at the quarterback. He's a solid quarterback, but he's not a difference maker. And I think that's what the Titans have been missing.
Okay, I just wanted you to say that. I just wanted to know because you were talking about that if you don't have that guy at the quarterback position, you won't be like a ceiling. But we see the Niners and Jimmy. People are talking about the Niners winning a Super Bowl with Jimmy G as a starter. And I think Jimmy G is closer to the top half of the starters in the NFL than he is to the bottom half. The guy can win.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
he's gonna get paid this offseason.
yeah, and like you said, like DB said, if it's not by the 49ers, which I think if I were the 49ers, I would send my young kid. I would send Trey Lance there for Zach Wilson and put Zach Wilson with Kyle Shanahan.
It
I
may
ain't
be
gonna
a
lie.
difference.
That he we go and let Zach be a back. This don't sound crazy. He might because I think Zach would do it. If I think the Jets would do it. Get Trey Lance in exchange for Zach Wilson and
Yeah.
like still some sort of trade package. It's your young quarterback for my young quarterback, and see because trust me, Shanahan's turned guys into. Look what he did with RG3 as a number 2 pick. He has a resume. Matt Ryan, so Jimmy G, so Zach, I think it would be revitalizing for Zach Wilson's career if he went to San Francisco and was a backup for a couple years, like a year or two, and then they move. Let's say they give Jimmy a 2-year deal and let Zach develop, and then Zach takes over.
Man, somebody ain't trying to be no bridge, man.
Who?
Jimmy about to get paid, man.
Yeah,
Somebody
Why
paying
who?
that dude.
Who's some teams they can pay Jimmy besides the Jets?
the Giants.
Giants.
Daniel, y'all are auto. Daniel Jones can't satisfy anybody. The guy is doing all he can,
They
but
might melt down, bro. They might crash, man. This Dallas, they play Dallas this week. This Thursday. They might crash, man.
Yeah, they're gonna lose by 20 plus in my opinion.
what makes you say that?
I just
They about to
don't.
crash, dude.
Yeah, I feel like take away the run. That's how you beat them. It's
But he just threw for 300 plus yards.
yeah,
And they
but
lost. They lost. That was garbage time.
yeah,
They
there's a
lost to
reason why
Detroit,
he
yo.
had to throw that much. Ideally, they don't want him to do that much.
Hey,
Yeah.
watch out for Detroit, man.
Yeah, I could see that. If there's an upset, it's either the Patriots beat the Vikings or the Lions beat the
Oh,
Bills.
Patriots beating the Vikings, man. Cousins not good at prime time.
Man, he not
He ain't
good
playing against
anytime.
Belichick. He ain't playing against Belichick, man.
Nah, yeah, they finna dice that. Yeah, he finna. Kirk Cousins might do some ish. We ain't seen him doing times of like career lows.
Hey, he about to go ahead and change them all, man. All right, man. So, Josh, hey, man, look, do you believe these Derek Carr rumors, man?
Yeah,
Um, I
yeah,
believe that they won't like because we heard remember a couple years they wanted Brady when and then
Yeah,
Brady was it him as a package with a coach or was it just Brady by himself one of them but they
Brady's
wanted
by himself.
yeah they wanted Brady like they believe see I don't believe that they're gonna cut Carr because it's
yeah.
a lot of dead it's a big cap hit huge
Hmm.
cap hit and like I said, people keep ignoring. I keep saying this. He has a no. Well, obviously, him being cut would mean that his no trade contract will be. That's why That's why the only choice would be to get rid of him because he's not waiving his no. You wouldn't cut somebody with that big of a cap hit unless you knew they would waive a no trade clause. He's not doing that. And he's not doing that. He's just not doing it. Like clearly, like I
Believe
want
you
people to
have a change of
understand that.
heart.
He's not doing. He will
Believe you have a
retire
change of
before
heart.
he. Derek Carr out, and I'm telling y'all this. Y'all can tell me I've said this. He will retire before he plays for another team. I promise you that.
What
And
if
he
it?
and he'll just call it 9 years of career. He'll call it 10 seasons and it'll be done.
I
What
disagree.
if? What if it's an opportunity to play with Brian Dable, man?
With the Giants, those
Yeah,
rumors have. I did
that
hear a
would be
couple of
nice.
rumors, but for a couple of years ago, this was before they even got Dable. That the Giants would be a spot for him.
The Giants,
Panthers. Panthers depends who
Panthers,
they get as the head coach.
The
If
49ers.
Green Bay get tired of Aaron Rodgers, I think,
Man,
but Green Bay needed to start tanking, man. They might as well start. It was, I would bench Aaron Rodgers. I'll bench Aaron Rodgers. See what I got in Jordan Love.
hell no. He making almost six. They're going to make 60 million next year. You don't play.
Man, Aaron Rodgers might retire after the season, man.
Yeah,
He
that
may
is
have to
that. That's what
retire,
they
bro.
were talking about, and let's see if Jordan. Because to be fair, Jordan Love hasn't gotten a consistent opportunity to prove he can be an NFL quarterback. So before they just say they need to get somebody else, like, can we see him play consistently?
Yeah,
But like people are saying that if Jordan Love were like ready, there was no way Aaron Rodgers would be on the Packers right now. Is that true? Do y'all think that's true?
yeah, it's true. He wouldn't be.
I don't know. But I do agree. Once the Packers are eliminated from the playoffs, Jordan Love should start the remaining of the season.
Yeah. Hey, one last thing, man. I promise.
What's up with
Have
it?
y'all been following the Jameis Winston stuff, man?
Yes,
Losing
What
the job to the injury and all that.
nigga was crying.
I think he's done with the Saints, man. That's no way he comes back now. I think the bridges are burned between him and Dennis Allen.
if Dennis Allen's back?
I think he's safe too. I think
Do you
he's
think
done.
Dennis Allen will be the head coach of the team next year? Do y'all think so? If you were to say yes or
If
no right now,
if they right now, man, I would say yes. But if it continue to unravel, if they don't win another game, if they play like they played against the Ravens and the Steelers, they just look uninspired. Ownership need to make a move. Now she did it with Stan Van Gundy after 1 year, but that was because like you had Zion Williamson and the threat of you losing another star was there, superstar.
yeah.
So she probably would do it again. I'm not sure though, you know. But they're not gonna fire him in the season, like midway in the season though. It's too late.
Oh, what I tell you about Dennis? What I tell you about old Dennis?
What I told
Old
you with Josh
Dennis.
McDaniel, bro.
No, I think
We even,
Dennis is
man.
Dennis is more of a flop than McDaniels. Dennis has been more of a flop than McDaniels. I'm sorry. We've been losing close games.
We've been
Some
losing
games,
close
y'all.
games too. We lose close games because of our mistakes, bro. The Saints losing like Saints are beating themselves, man. I can't even say it's injuries. It was the injury.
Because usually y'all usually had a point in the season where well Michael Thomas needs to get cut first of all. You think he gets cut,
Bro,
DB?
post June 1st can't do it now because if you cut him like prior to June 1st, that cap hit, man, it's gonna be like bad.
He's a is he not making 100 million like in terms of his cumulative contract? It's like $100 million contract.
Yeah, somewhat, man. It just the Saints just got so much dead money, man. It's just gonna be hard to like, move people, man. It just is, man. There's a lot of like a lot of money, a lot of they do a lot of restructuring, man. They did do what the Rams doing, man. So it's gonna be like really bad to like just like get rid of players, man.
Speaking of the Rams, we didn't get to talk about them, DB. Like they lost
Oh
4 straight
man,
games.
dude, what I tell you, bro? I told you it was done, man. The Rams are not. It caught up with them.
Is
You
the
don't have no
McVay?
draft pick.
Is the McVay era over with? Like in terms of him like being smarter than everybody else?
He might
Nope.
retire, man. I think he might leave.
Nope.
Go ahead.
I think they're just having a down year. It happens. It happens. It
Odell.
happened this year. Like
Yeah.
if it happens again next year and they're healthy and all, then I would start to agree. But they're just having a down year, so it happens. I'm not gonna read too much into it. The one thing that sucks is they don't have a first round pick, and that's probably gonna be a top 10 pick.
So you slow for
And
nothing.
the Lions use it to get one of these quarterbacks. But other than that, it is what it is, and it'll be interesting. To see, Allen Robinson probably isn't too happy with
Hey,
how he's been used. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's not
hey.
the Rams next season.
But here's a loophole, though, man. Colin Cowherd said the other day that they should move Jalen Ramsey and get that first round pick back.
No.
You wouldn't do it?
No.
No,
I would do it. I would
he's a
do it.
shit. He's a found
He's been getting
oh,
cooked lately. I would do it. I would
nah,
move
they,
Jalen Ramsey first, man.
nah, I was
If
about
a
to say something
team, if a
crazy.
contender, if a contender called me and said, "Hey, we would give you a first round pick and you give us Jalen Ramsey in the offseason," I would do it.
I'm gonna need more than that because he worth more than the first round pick.
I would do it because they gave up. What they give like multiple first for him? They gave
Yeah,
up.
they gave him
I
multiple first
felt
round. Yeah,
I felt like they gave up too much for him to get him.
he got him a Super Bowl just like the AD deal. Got him a chip.
See,
Got him
man,
a chip.
they could have lost that chip. They could have easily lost that game, man. In my
Yeah,
opinion,
they probably should have lost that game.
they could
Yeah,
have
they
lost that.
definitely should have. Yeah,
But
but
it's something to
but
think about, man. It's something to
um
think about. What you got? What else you got?
that's what I was saying. Like the Rams got a lot of old veterans on their defense. Well, they just signed so many guys. They got Aaron Donald, you got Leonard Floyd. You got some older guys on their defense that they could move off of and get some compensation for it, but they never gonna move Aaron Donald. Obviously, he gonna be retired as a Ram. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
That's
he'll
for that's
retire.
that's forever. But like, I have a question. Do y'all think they overpaid for Matt? I think Matthew Stafford, like, he kind of he caught lightning in the bottle last year, and that was a 1 year. Like I'm talking about in terms of, like, I think he's a very good quarterback in terms of, his historically, but in terms of, like, right now relevancy, I don't even know who's more relevant, him or Matt Ryan. Like I don't know who I'd rather have, because at this point I just feel like Matthew Stafford is a shell of himself, and I feel that it was kind of like over. You had to pay him because he won the Super Bowl more than you paid him more because he won a Super Bowl than because of them having faith in him, and they had to justify the Jared Goff trade. Which, honestly, in this season, I would probably say Jared Goff can play better than him.
He is playing better now. That's another quarterback that might be on the move, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. I believe. I think he could be back if he wants to be a backup in Detroit, but I don't think he wants that. I could see him finding a place where he can compete to be a starter. But yeah, they're gonna save a lot of money if they release him. So I believe he's playing his last games for the Lions.
Damn.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see how it play out, man. But I don't know, man. I think just the Rams, man. It just lost Odell Beckham. Odell not having Odell Beckham pretty much, hurt him. Not having Andrew Whitworth retiring, that hurt the offensive line. Running, they couldn't run the football, man. That's a running back friendly scheme.
And they cut Daryl.
They couldn't
They
run the
cut
football.
Daryl Henderson, DB.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Blessing in disguise for him. That I hated it
I
had to
forgot
end
about
this
that,
way,
man.
They
but
cut they cut a Memphis great.
yeah, but I don't know if y'all saw the reason why they said they wanted to give younger players opportunity. So Daryl gets out of a team that's losing, and we'll see where he ends up next. But
Think somebody will pick him up before the playoffs?
surely,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who, but I think somebody will pick him up though. New England?
I think
They
that's
got they got Harrison Ramondre.
yeah.
Yeah, bro. But Harrison been hurt though.
Yeah, Harrison, he
Maybe
thought he did
it's
play
time
last
to,
game. Huh?
We'll see. Hey, but who would have thought that who would have thought that Pollard would have been a better back coming out of college between the two of them?
all depends on the way you look at the game. If you're looking at the game back in the day, you would have thought Henderson. If you're looking at the modern game, you would have thought Pollard. So, but I see your point, but that's the way I look at it too.
Cause when they
Yeah.
said total Pollard with the Cowboys, I'm like, okay, you with the Cowboys. Yeah,
Zeke.
he ain't getting behind Zeke, man.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Like, there's no way he take over for Zeke.
But also what happened with Pollard, Pollard didn't have me touch. Remember, Henderson had all those touches because Darrell Henderson finished in the top 10 in the Heisman, and I think that was 20, was it
18,
19?
2018.
18. He finished in the top 10 in the Heisman race that year, and he just almost he damn near got four almost. It might have been a little bit less, but he almost had 400 some touches. He might have hit 400 when he was touching the ball so much. And Pollard wasn't as, I mean, obviously Pollard was an All American kick returner, but he
Yeah.
wasn't like used as much, like in terms of like the workload. So I feel like that helped him at the NFL. I think that helped him in the NFL. I think that benefited him not getting as many touches and like the load because Henderson had to carry. He had more of a load in college than he did with the Rams. So
Sure did.
yeah, so like you got to think about that too. So that made a big factor in this. But DB, I do have a question for you before it. Like, I mean, obviously I want to finish the time, but I don't want to keep because I'm having obviously this is a great discussion we have for both of y'all. But what is James' market if he get cut by the Saints, and who and also we didn't talk about Sam Darnold being the new quarterback of the Panthers. Does he still have long term potential with the Panthers, or is he just a stop? Is he just we finna see what he got, but we really don't want him?
Well, I'm gonna start with the Chambers question. You said what was his market be?
Yeah, well, like, is it what teams
Oh,
like what who would want him?
right now, man, I think he's a bridge now, man. Like, I think his days of being a starter is over. But he'll always have a job in the league because he has an arm. As an NFL arm, get the ball down the field. But I think he's gonna be a bridge, man. Like,
Like,
unless
and
unless you get on somewhere like Seattle and pull a Geno, but that's gonna be hard to do.
So he's in a Teddy Bridgewater status.
Yeah, this is his last shot, man. That's why he was playing with a broken back, man. That's why he was playing with a broken back, man. And he's regretting it now, though.
Hey, he's already been with the Bucks. He's been with the Saints. Why not go to the Panthers?
Yeah.
I think they'll go after a young quarterback,
But
they'll need a quarterback, and I don't think any of the quarterbacks they have on their roster. Maybe PJ Walker comes back, but that's it.
Matt Corral.
you know what would be a good place for him, man, to like learn his craft and hone in on his craft? The Chiefs.
Yeah,
Sit
but does he
behind
want
Jameis.
that?
He
I
was
would.
You're right.
gonna start.
A place like that, or if Sean Payton ends up somewhere where they need a quarterback, I don't know if Sean Payton's going to end up at a place where they need him to be a bridge. He'll probably have to be a backup, but he had success with Sean Payton, so
That's what really hurt him, though, man.
yeah,
Not having Sean Payton again,
yeah.
that's hurt him. That really hurt him. But we asked about Sam Darnold, right, man? Sam
Yeah,
Darnold,
like does he have a
he a
future in
bridge.
NFL, y'all, or
He a
is
bridge
he
too.
a back? He's a bridge too.
He a bridge too, man.
How you a bridge?
Let's-
And
I
only
feel like if
23?
you're a bridge, you're a backup. And I know
Carson
that's
Wentz about to
probably
be a
not
bridge. Carson Wentz about to be a bridge.
He's probably a backup now.
Hey, hold on. So Heineke, is he a long term option for that team? A long term option, or is he like, a stopgap for right now? He's good for right now.
He's good for right now. I mean, they could bring him as their starter next year, but he has a ceiling that's not where you want to be. So I probably would try to maybe Jimmy G. That's another place for where he could go. But yeah, Heineke is he's more of a bridge.
And Lamar ain't going nowhere.
We'll see. I don't think he's gone anywhere, but I'm not sure if he's gonna get what he wants. He may get a short-term deal.
They might tag him though.
Yeah, they might
Yeah,
tag. But then they got to pick between him. They might. What if they want to tag? They want to bring him and Roquan back though. Roquan might get the tag, and they might try to get Lamar some.
Yeah.
But I was seeing. Oh, let me see. I was reading somewhere, y'all, and they were talking about quarterbacks. What was it for the Damn. They had the. You saw. I think Brian said in the group chat where they talked about Was it? Nah, it wasn't. Because it was somewhere about the Saints drafting a quarterback for next year, and whether Andy Dalton could be like and they started next year. I was like, no, and there's no way Andy Dalton starts there, right, DB?
Yeah, he is. There is a way.
Next season?
I think that's what I predict. I think Dalton comes back next year as a bridge, man. And the Saints draft for QB. That's what I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
Who was the last quarterback y'all drafted?
Dude, Gary Grayson.
Gary Grayson from Colorado State. Y'all raked.
Never worked out. He never worked out. It ain't worked out. So he be either that, man, or they're gonna suck for Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is the truth. Suck for Caleb Williams, it'd be good.
Yeah.
Either that, either draft this year or suck for Caleb Williams.
So y'all not gonna be bad enough to get CJ Stroud?
No.
Nah.
Remember, they don't have a first round pick.
Remember first round. This ain't have a first round pick.
You know who the Saints need to fire? Whoever made that trade. That's who they need to fire.
Oh, y'all better hope Hendon Hooker slip to the second round.
No,
they probably
they
probably could trade back into the first for him, but he's gonna be out for next year. Like I would redshirt him if I was the Saints.
No, but the plan, if Sean Payton comes back, they could trade him to a team that he wants to go to and get their first round pick. Some people have stated that Sean Payton has worked multiple first round picks, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's fair. Even if I think they'll probably get one. I don't think they'll get multiple.
You better heck no. You better give me if you only give me one for, I need 2 seconds off you too.
I'll just give you the 2 first, man.
If you get one first, you take that.
What? Sean Payton can come back in the league and be a top 5 coach.
Yeah, but one first is all you need.
No, we may need 2.
It ain't about what you need, it's about what we want.
You want to. You don't need to. You want to. There's
You
a
want him to be
difference.
the head. You want him to be your head coach. Hey, Chargers, you want him to be your head coach. Hey, whoever you want to be.
Keep losing
Hey,
games, man.
hey,
Chargers,
Carolina, you want him to. I don't think Sean McVay's gonna get sent to Carolina in the same division, but we don't. That's not. It's not impossible.
I don't see
who
that
y'all
happening.
think is that job, man? The Carolina job.
I want to hear
Uh,
Brian point.
Steve
What you think, Brian?
Wilkes has a chance. Dan Quinn, somebody
I will
maybe
not
from
hire
the
Dan Quinn.
Hell nah.
somebody
I
maybe
will
from
not
the
hire Dan
Seahawks.
Quinn.
Somebody maybe from the Seahawks because that's where Scott Fitterer, their GM, came from. That's a good question. Um, Maybe one of the hot coordinators that everyone's interested this offseason.
I
But
know.
yeah,
I don't think they want to go defense though.
I think they probably want to. I feel like I'm not even sure the owner and the GM are on the same page. We'll see. I think the owner wants to probably go. Originally, he wanted to go offense, and I think he'll probably want to go offense this time. But I think the GM just may want to find the best guy, regardless of um, their specialty. So he may end up. See, I don't know what they want. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. But on Sean Payton ain't going to Carolina, and I mentioned this earlier. Sean Payton, if he returns, Albert Breer was on the herd. He said he's probably going to end up on the West Coast. So the Cardinals, if they open up, the Chargers, the Broncos, those would be if the Raiders somehow opened up, those would be the leading candidates.
If I'm the Cardinals, I hire Frank Wright. I hire Frank Wright.
If I'm the Cardinals, I hire the Eagles offensive coordinator. I was reading the Bleachers report.
Shane Steichen.
They made a
Yeah,
good
Van
point.
Sneaky, yeah,
They made a
yeah.
good point on why he would be a good candidate. Because he's worked with Kyler Murray and Jalen. They're similar quarterbacks, and he could maybe build a system around Kyler Murray
Hey,
to
one more,
success.
one more. What about Matt Nagy?
He's
Matt,
gonna.
Matt Nagy
I
in
hope
Arizona.
if EB gets a job, he'll be the Chiefs OC. I think he'll take a few more seasons for Matt Nagy to get another shot. I think he probably deserves another shot. And you probably know this. He came after Trubisky was drafted, so he had nothing to do with it. He did the best he could. Probably should have done better stuff when it's all said and done. But
Trubisky had a winning record and still got cut.
yeah. But I don't know if
His
how much
last pass at the Bear was a
was he the
touchdown.
reason why they won. He's all right, but he's a backup. That's just what he is. But I would like to see Matt Nagy get another shot. If
Over
he has
EB? Over EB?
no,
Bro,
that's
folks will
not.
be livid.
No, I'm
Dude,
just saying in general.
hey, if Nagy get a job over EB, folks are going to be livid, dude.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I hope EB.
Hey, but
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me go ahead real quick. I hope if EB
go ahead, Brian.
gets a college offer, I hope he takes it. I know he wants the NFL, but I think ultimately you want to be a head coach, and if you get the opportunity, I think you should take it. But that's just me.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Lil.
I think these are if I were the Panthers or the Cardinals, these would be my two top coaching candidates. I think this is the offseason Kellen Moore gets his head coaching shot. Even with the Cowboys, they've kind of groomed him to be a head coach, kind of in case McCarthy F up. But I feel like this is the year Kellen Moore gets his shot to go be an NFL head coach. And also, I would go with Ken Dorsey. This would kind of be a second straight year. Bill's OC gets a shot. But I think Ken Dorsey's an open horizon star in the coaching ranks, and I think if I were Tepper, I would look at those two as my two candidates, Kellen Moore and Ken Dorsey for sure, because those are two bright young minds, and he better hurry up and try to go get Kellen because let's say Jerry fired McCarthy. I think if it's not Dan Quinn, it'll be Kellen Moore as the head coach, in my opinion.
He's not firing McCarthy.
I'm talking about hypothetically.
You sure?
No.
You sure?
Unless
one
they
and done. It was a one and done. It was another one and done.
In the first round, then maybe. But if you fire McCarthy, you better be getting Sean Payton, or what's the point?
What you mean?
Sean Payton? You think Sean Payton will take the Cowboys job?
No,
he might, man. Jerry might ease off the power though. He might ease off the power if he takes Sean Payton. If he hires Sean Payton, I can see Jerry easing up.
Speaking of Cowboys, where do you think OBJ ends up? Cowboys or
Dallas
Giants? I think
Cowboys,
Cowboys, but I was thinking, I feel like he feels like he has some
bro.
finished business with the Giants. So I
Man,
could
look,
see it happening,
listen,
but I lean towards Cowboys.
listen. I might say this on Twitter too. I might say it on Twitter too. OBJ a fool if he signed with the Giants over the Cowboys. He a fool.
Why do you say that?
But look, let me explain why he would have signed
Why I
with
say
the
that,
Giants.
bro? That's like playing with Baker Mayfield in Cleveland again, man. Come on, dude.
But
But
let me
Daniel
explain
Jones is
why.
better than is just is
Because
Daniel
he's
Jones is
already won a
improved.
Super Bowl and was a reason why they won. I know he got hurt, but he was a reason why they won it. So he's got that off his checklist. So he may have other ambitions than, yeah, if he wants to win, and there's probably other teams he could go to before he go to the Cowboys. But if it's between those two teams, you obviously go to the Cowboys. But I don't know what his ambitions are. I don't know what he wants. So I think that's important to note too. So yeah, if it's and which team will go farther in the playoff and you choose the Giants, then he's crazy. I would like to see him with the Ravens too. That'd be another possibility. But I, I I don't know what his ambitions are. So I don't think it would be as crazy as it seems if he chooses the Giants.
Yeah, but to answer what you were saying, I think that Odell is gonna be going to the Giants too. Like this guy's gonna step in. He might be their number one. Like give him like once he gets back, like everything. You're not gonna be 100% like automatically, but Mike Tannenbaum was saying that if you had plans on signing Odell, you should sign him now. So at least you get him in your like he rehab room. You get him in the offense. That way when he get back on the field, he is ready to go. Cause and that learning curve is not as bad for the offense. So I honestly think they should go to the Giants because like I said, I think they're going to be a playoff team in my opinion. I think they're going like I mean they have a formula DB that works. Run game and defense works in the playoffs. It works. And it might not be the cutest thing in the world, but it works. Saquon, it works. And honestly, they just lost one Dale Robinson, one of their young rookie receivers, to a torn ACL. So he's gonna fit in right there. Whereas I think I know the Cowboys really want him bad because like Dak, I think even the Cowboys Twitter page like tweeted like saying it's your move now, a OBJ or whatnot. And with Dak, they were like supporting getting him and all that. Like he's had one of the best recruiting pitches. Like he's getting like everything. Like it's like he's been recruited by so many teams. But and I know the Cowboys want him, but personally, I would rather go to the Giants. Like, cause like Brian said, like unfinished business. Like they had a divorce. Divorce didn't go right. Like they didn't it didn't end well. Like or the LBJ should have never been on the Browns. Like he should have stayed with the Giants. But and if he comes back, it'll be kind of like a reuniting. They y'all get back together. Two people fall out of love and then they come back together. It'd be a great story. And especially with this team, actually, this would obviously be. I think this would even be better than that team that he made the playoffs with in 2017 with Eli. I think
From the
this team is
boat
better.
team, we took the Miami. They took the trip to
Oh yeah,
Miami.
this good. Yeah, this team's better overall. This yeah, I remember that. Yeah, this team's better than that team. So I think he'd actually be coming back to a team. This probably be the best Giants team he's ever played for. So I think if I were him, there would be an angle that I would look at it from too.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a valid point.
yeah. Yeah, I have two other notes. If he signs with one of those teams, one advantage Dallas could have over New York, or that they have, is no state tax. And I don't, y'all probably saw that lawsuit he had with Nike. So if he's trying to save extra money, that's an advantage they have over New York. But another thing that some people aren't talking about, the people that got rid of him in New York are no longer there. So it's a different regime, different guys. And so I think that's important. One thing, if he was going back to the guys that got rid of him, then it wouldn't make sense at all. But it's different guys in charge. And so I think that's important to note too.
All right, that's all we have for y'all for right now. Give us a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let us know how you feel. Let us know how you feel about topics we talk about. If you listen to us through Apple or Spotify, give us a 5-star rating, leave a review. So that's all we have for y'all for right now. Check out strike7sports.com for latest content on the NFL, the NBA, Memphis Tigers football and basketball, and much more. Have a blessed night. Peace. We out.